Okay, hello everybody. So, our first lecture of the first week, it is what is politics? Okay, so let's start with the presentation. We'll make it as simple as possible and as easy to digest as possible. So, politics, the simple definition of politics, is that it is the process by which groups of people make decisions, often involving the governance of a country or a community. Okay, so this is simply put. Now, the politics, the dealing with politics, have two key components. The first one is governance, the second one is power dynamics, and there is a difference between the two. But for now, just keep in mind that governance is the act of ruling or managing a state or organization, and that power dynamics are the distribution and exercise of power among individuals and groups. And this definition, this distinction between the two, will make a lot of sense in future lectures. So stay with me and keep these two concepts in mind. Okay, so why is it important? Why is it important to study politics, to learn about politics? Because I think it's a real shame that most people don't know anything about political science in general and about politics, like the basics of politics. Like, why do we go to school and learn geography and history and math, but we don't learn about politics? This is something I don't understand. I think it has some bigger meanings. Maybe I'll discuss it in the future. But for now, politics is important for multiple reasons. One of them is rights awareness. So, understanding political systems helps individuals know their rights and responsibilities. So, you need to understand the kind of political system that you live in order to be able to interact with it, in order to fight for your rights. Know your responsibilities and know your rights, and don't let the government impose on your rights. Okay? The second one is policy impact. So, government policies affect various aspects of life, such as healthcare, education, and environmental regulations. So, the political system in which you live, the politics that you vote for, that are supposed to lead you, they impact almost everything in your life. It's not just something you see in the news. So, we have to keep this in mind. The taxes you pay, the quality of education, the quality of healthcare, the environment around you, everything around that is actually has something to do with politics. So, like I said, politics is not something that is done in some ivory tower in your capital city and doesn't affect you at all. It affects almost every aspect of your life, and you have to keep this in mind. So, third thing is social development. So, politics can lead to societal progress and development, shaping laws and norms that govern behaviors. So, your understanding of politics, your engagement with it, will actually make a lot of difference on so many levels, like we said. So it can help your society progress, it can develop your country better by understanding how the political system works. You can understand how the laws are made, and then later you can maybe understand how the laws can be changed. So keep this in mind. Okay, how does it impact everyday life? Now, I talked about taxes, okay? I talked about education, health services. So it's the same here. So the first thing, three key components. You have public services, so decisions on public transportation, education, funding, and healthcare access, all this is mandated by politics. The economic policies, taxation, economic regulations, these things directly influence personal finances and job opportunities. So it's not, like I said, it's not something that you just see in the news. Politics affect your opportunities in getting a job, affects the way money works, from inflation to printing money. This is something I'll discuss in the future as well. Third thing is social issues. So political actions can promote social justice and equality, impacting marginalized communities. So one of the key factors in maintaining peace, civil peace in any country, is having an inclusive political system. So you need a political system that includes everybody within the border of the country. It doesn't make any sense that a certain group would take over the governance of the country, of making laws, without having all of the other groups represented in it. Otherwise, that would be called totalitarianism or authoritarianism, and this is something I'll discuss also as well in a coming lecture, the difference between these government systems. Okay, so understanding politics, citizens who understand how politics works, how governance works, will lead to a country where there's more harmony between the communities, where there's more peace and little as possible civil unrest. Okay? So, how do you engage with politics? So, there are two aspects here. You have civic participation and you have activism. What's the difference? So, civic participation is something you do within the system itself. So, voting in elections is a fundamental way to influence political outcomes. Engaging in discussions about policies that matter personally enhances civic awareness. So, you can engage with politics by engaging with the systems that are mandated by the governance system that you have. Okay, so voting is one of the biggest ways in democratic countries where you are engaged with politics, and I think learning about politics will make you a much better voter. You will see. So the second aspect is activism. So activism is engagement with politics that happens outside of the system itself. And the biggest example is protests or advocacy groups. You can also have lobbyism to a certain degree. Okay, so activism is participating in protests or advocacy groups, and it can bring attention to important issues and drive change. So yes, you can vote, but if there's something urgent, if there's something that the people find important for the politicians to understand, to tackle with immediately, then they can go out to the streets and they can protest. And this is one of the biggest ways of engaging with politics through activism. So, what's the conclusion? So, what you need to understand is that politics is very important. So, it shapes our rights, influences our daily lives, and drives societal change. Like we have discussed, knowing politics will change your life. It will change the way you judge the performance of your governments. It will change the way you think laws should be mandated, should be made. It will change the way you think laws and regulations can be applied to you and to the others. Okay? And also, you have to be encouraged to engage with politics because it affects everything in your life, from your job opportunities to the environment around you to the value of the money you carry. Okay, that's why you need to understand politics, because it empowers you to participate meaningfully in the communities and to advocate for your own beliefs, for your own interests, to know what to ask politicians for, to be able to judge the performance of the politicians you have voted for in a democratic country. Okay, so all this, understanding politics, if we can all understand politics at a better level, we can all be better citizens, better voters, and I think society in general would be much better. So thanks for tuning in, and wait for the next lecture.